Hello.
Good morning.
This is us, our face this time. We do so much Instagram and whatnot. We're filming out. We just thought we'd tell you where we've been, what we've liked, and where we're going to go in the future on this circumnavigation around Lake Ontario. So we left Kingston. We went to Belleville. As you saw, you may have seen that one where we got slammed in a storm against the cement wall.
Yep.
We didn't have a place to stay there, so it
Thought
is
we
what
didn't need it.
we
Whoops.
didn't think we needed it. We usually anchor out around Belleville,
Yeah.
but that storm came and we thought a wall was safer, which probably wasn't
No.
true. Then we went to Coburg,
Yep.
where we usually just do the anchor in the bay thing because we have a dinghy. We could go to shore if we need any provisioning, but usually that's so early that we don't need provisions yet.
No.
So,
Just enjoyed the relaxing evening,
Yeah.
and
it's a nice protected inner
the weather was
harbor.
gorgeous. It was
Yeah.
perfect weather.
Yeah. The storms had finally kind of passed. And then we went to Whitby, where we went to the Whitby Yacht Club. That was a super nice club, super friendly people. Like,
Yeah,
super.
We had a nice time.
People approaching us, talking to us
We
all the
made
time.
our roadie mojitos,
Yeah.
and did a walkabout, and we got invited to hang out with some people, and yeah, it was very fun.
That was a great club. And then after that, we went to, now I'm thinking about it, ABYC.
Yes, Ashbridges Bay, which
Yeah.
I also loved.
We'd never been there before. We'd been to Whitby
No.
before, and we liked it last time.
And
Ashbridges was
they were
the first
very
time.
welcoming, very helpful there, and turned out to be right next to where the fireworks were being launched
Yes.
on Canada Day, so we got the inside scoop of where to be for that, and
That was amazing.
yeah.
Love that club. Great facilities too. Very,
Yes.
very nice. Next was
We anchored at Wards Beach for a couple
yeah,
of nights and
Wards Beach in Toronto.
did not a lot because the weather.
Yeah, the weather was kind of back to poopy again.
Yeah.
And then we went to National Yacht Club. Another thing with Toronto, it's really hard to get into a yacht club reciprocal because it's a really busy.
Especially on a weekend.
Yeah,
We
it's
pretty much
really
forget it.
And then we went to the National Yacht Club. Wind's picking up, hopefully not too much wind noise. National Yacht Club was amazing. Right downtown.
Yes. And was so close to everything, so close to so many beautiful parks, and we were able to walk right downtown waterfront. We walked to the Steam Whistle and to the CN Tower. Everything was in walking distance.
Toronto, you could spend 2 weeks in Toronto
Oh, easy.
and there's just
Yeah.
so much to do.
There's
People
so many places to anchor, even if you don't get into clubs. Like
Yeah.
the last
Oh, that's
couple
true,
years, we spent like a week and a half just anchoring all around the place.
Yeah, there's lots of places to
Yeah.
anchor too. So don't be scared it's a big city that you can't
No.
anchor. Around Toronto Island, there's different little, depending on the wind angle, there's places you can stay at anchor. Yeah, it's a little, though, if you anchor, it's really hard to find a spot to dinghy. You can't, we couldn't find a spot to bring your dinghy to the mainland shore and then
Downtown.
walk around downtown.
No.
There's just no dinghy dock there. So you gotta then maybe pay for a slip so you can be on the shore. And that's why the National Yacht Club was great, because it was right downtown. Of course, docks were beautiful. Everything about that place was beautiful. And then we went to Etobicoke.
Yes.
We've been there before. We liked it as well. I mean, we haven't had a bad experience
Gardens,
yet, really.
no.
Yeah.
Gardens and grounds are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Um,
And now we're at Port Credit, which
Yes.
again, that's the building. That's the main clubhouse. We had dinner there last night. Oh, God.
so good. It was
so
very-
good. And the portion's so big for the
Huge.
price. I don't get it. I don't know how they do it. And then over there's a pool, and look at the docks. I mean, the docks are just immaculate. There's this rubberized surface, very similar to the National Yacht Club. They also had the rubberized dock.
yes.
And I don't know if the geese don't like the rubberized surface, but there's no goose poop everywhere. And with normal wooden docks, so many Canadian geese around here, there's usually poop all over the docks, even though the club tries to keep it clean. They just can't keep up with all the geese. For some reason, the rubberized surface seems to solve that. So any yacht club out there that's thinking about doing the rubberized surface, it seems like it works. So the next thing is we're going to Oakville.
Yeah.
We're not sure where
Which
yet.
we may or may not be into. There is a reciprocal club. There's two
Yeah.
actually. But one is Medmooring, which I don't think I want to do, and
No.
the other is
We've never
VHF
Medmoored.
when you arrive to find
Yeah.
out if there's a place. So we'll try that.
Yeah,
If
and
not,
that's-
we'll tie to the wall like we did the last couple times.
Yeah, we tied to the wall, and it works. And that way you can still not dinghy. You can use their scooters and stuff, which we've been doing at every place we have a dock to go check the surroundings out. Yeah, there's only one critique about the yacht club reciprocal thing is there's no set way of doing it. Some are like, don't call us, just channel 68 VHF when you get here. Well, it's kind of hard if you've sailed directly to a place to say, hey, can we get in, like when you're 200 yards away, and they go, nope.
And others are book at least 48 hours in
Yeah.
advance.
Otherwise, don't even
Or-
try calling us the day
yeah,
of. You better be
okay.
booked 48 hours in advance.
It is hard to plan an
Yeah.
itinerary and actually and book things in advance because we don't know. Like we don't know if we're going to get a slip here or there. We might arrive earlier than we thought because of other reasons. So
Yeah. Sometimes you got to hunker down in a storm, so you stay in a place longer than you anticipated, and other times, you know what I mean. You just can't forecast 4 or 5 days ahead and book. So some of them you can book ahead, and some of them, when you try and call them last minute, they're like, no, we book in advance and it's already full. So it's almost impossible to plan ahead of time. Also, it's hard if you're 3 or 4 days in advance. Like, we want to go to Niagara Yacht Club, we want to go to these other places, but those are 4 or 5 days away. We just don't know which day we would end up being there, so it's tough. But yeah, so Oakville next, then maybe St. Catharines. We've been to Hamilton twice. We're skipping Hamilton.
Yeah, we're skipping Hamilton. We've toured that sufficiently already. And now that we know you aren't actually supposed to swim in it, I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, when it's hot, we can't help ourselves. We've got to swim off the back of the boat. And
I did not know that. We swam in it quite a bit, but oh well.
And then we go to shore and we see signs on their local beaches like, high bacteria, don't swim. And we're like, whoops, too late. So we've been to Hamilton, nice bike trails and stuff. But other than that, it's a bit industrial, so the water's not the cleanest. So St. Catharines, maybe, if we can get in there. Niagara on the Lake, if we can get in there. I don't think we can, but we'll see. And then after that, there's an American one. Youngstown. And then Wilson. And then another place I can't remember, and eventually Rochester, and then eventually another place. There's a few places I can't remember the names, and then Oswego, and then towards Sackett's Harbor, and then back towards Kingston. And then we will be done our circumnavigation of Lake Ontario, both sides. We've done it before where we've only been able to do the Canadian side because of COVID. This will be the first time we've done both Canadian and American side. Last year we tried to do both, but our transmission blew out. And so we only did like 2 or 3 spots in the United States before we had to turn around and go home. So some of you have been saying, how come you guys haven't been posting much? That's the reason. If you haven't been following closely, we had a transmission go out. So that kind of ruined our summer last year. So yeah. And as for boat show stuff, people have been asking, have you guys given up on the whole catamaran thing? I've gotten a lot of comments about that. Nope. We retire next March. We are going to go hard into the boat shows this coming Annapolis Boat Show, Miami Boat Show. We're even thinking about flying to France to go to a boat show there to see more catamarans. Not because we necessarily can afford to buy a new one, but we want to get our eyes on more options because we've changed a bit. We used to be all about comfort, what's it like at anchor? Is it like a floating condo? I now realize that the downside of not being able to sail in light winds is a huge thing for me now. So I want to be more performance, a little less interior comfort if need be, but not sparse. Not sparse. I know, Fur Face, I saw that. Not
no
sparse.
one-sided beds under any circumstances.
Yeah, she doesn't want the beds where you got to climb off the feet. So you got to have some walk around.
3 sides or nothing.
Perfectly 3 sides, or at least her side, so she can get in and out without having to climb off the bottom of the bed. So we're doing boat shows, and then we got to seriously start looking. We'd love to buy used because then you can get it right away. But unfortunately, we're sort of leaning towards electric propulsion now.
Yes.
We really want a lot of solar and electric propulsion, and it seems like you can only find that in new boats. Finding a used boat that's 3, 4, 5 years old that's electric propulsion with a ton of solar, they weren't quite there technology-wise yet with the battery technology and maybe the walk-on solar panels and all that stuff. So if we have to buy new, we're gonna have to live on the boat we are in now for a couple of years to build up the kitty to get the down payment big enough to let a bank actually let us borrow the rest of the money to buy a new catamaran. Plus, there's usually like a year waiting list. So
minimum, probably.
So that's a reason why we'd have to wait around too. Even if we put the deposit down to get on the waiting list, it's probably at least a year to produce the boat. So that's the long form, and I can't do these sort of things on Instagram because they limit you to 60 seconds. So I'm going to put this on Facebook and maybe also YouTube, just a YouTube video, just to update you where we are and what we plan to be. If you're in any of those cities we mentioned along the way on the counterclockwise rotation around Lake Ontario, and you think you have an in to get us a slip at one of these yacht clubs, send me an email at cruisingoffduty@gmail.com or put messages in wherever you saw this video, and we'll touch base that way. That's it. We're leaving Port Credit today, and I wish we could stay. It's so beautiful here, but they're busy. They have a regatta this weekend, so
we are not allowed to.
We're not welcome to stay, so we got to go. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.